for your final youth kickboxing fight of the evening. Brings to you the 85 pounds on the line. Your first fighter out of the red corner brings in a record of 3 wins, 4 losses, fighting out of Diamond Tie Kickboxing out of Bayville, Kentucky. Please welcome D. Osborne.
Man, for young kids, all these fighters have had really good walkout music.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the adults will not.
Oh, there's always I'm waiting for, there's always like the usuals, like Many Men is usually always on.
The new one is All My Life.
Is it?
Song,
Yep.
yeah. When I did the Ox Fitness card last month, 3 different people had the same walkout song as All My Life by Lil Durk. It's the new Mini Men.
It's the new Mini Men.
It's the Mini Men of a new generation.
Yeah, you'll always see like the frequent. I always tried to, pick something that related to my training that was usually not like in the current mindset of everyone.
Look at this kid's walkout gear. He looks Bangkok ready.
Yeah.
His opponent fighting out of the blue corner, 2 wins and 1 loss. Fighting from the Lake and Diamond Muay Thai in Mooresville, North Carolina. Please welcome
Mason Taylor with the suit on.
And Bunches Taylor. Explaining our rules is Kale Sunshine Front.
I expect you to follow those rules. Remember, when I say stop, you do just that. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Let's go, make some noise. 85-pound title belt on the line.
All right, first title fight of the night. And the crowd is explosive.
Dino Osborne taking on Mason Punches and Bunches Taylor. This might be the first fight where the strategy is a little different from the opponents. Most people have tried to clinch Mason to slow him down.
Oh, and it didn't look like he was trying to slow down at all. And this was the first fight where both fighters kind of like gauged each other in the center of the cage before just immediately being the aggressor. This just shows some good fight IQ from both youths. Oh, wow. And a little bit of showboating from Mason there after that teep grazes across his face from Osborne.
Every time. And I have talked to some of the people who have tried to game plan against Mason Taylor, and they just say, even for a kid, he's weird. He's like, he's so awkward compared to like most fighters, and he's so long for this weight class. He can be hard to deal with.
People don't understand how hard it is
If you
to
got
fight
pictures,
and
please,
spar
if you'd like to take it off the
unconventional
camera. Lights
people.
off the camera.
Yeah. I mean, you are in there with people who are doing the textbook response every day.
Oh, good head kick from Mason.
You get in there with a guy who's a little different, a guy who has a little bit weird timing, or is in there dancing around and saying stuff to you. It throws you off your game.
Right? If they don't even know what they're going to do, how am I supposed to know what they're going to do?
Yeah.
And Mason's fallen a few times, but it looks mostly just some off balancing, not true knockdowns.
He's a floppy poppy. I mean, he kind of just has no base, and he just throws everything with complete disregard.
Good sweep from Mason to the dome, and then finishes with a leg kick off the breakaway. That shows a lot of knowledge when you know how to throw off of a clinch break like that, because a lot of people let their guard down right off the break.
Well, I would say that's kind of Mason's big strength, and that's usually his strategy is he probes you and makes you run forward, and then when you run forward, he turns, puts you against the fence, and just blasts you with a million punches. That's like how he scores. He likes to do that consistently, and he was only able to do it once or twice in that round, but I didn't really see a ton of offense from Osborne.
Mason out there like a seasoned veteran, almost taunting Osborne a little bit when the strikes aren't landing.
Bud Light, United States Marine Corps, and 106.5 the end. Here we go, round 205 coming your way.
It's so crazy. I grew up near this area, and I used to
Did you really?
Used to listen to 106.5 The End every single day, and now they are a sponsor for Fight For It. It's so crazy.
Comes full circle, huh?
Always. Yeah, that was the only station that played cool music, TM, when I was a kid.
Well, I grew up in Miami, and it was all stuff that can't be played here in front of all these kids.
Anywhere, really,
Yeah.
except Miami. Dean's coach over there from the Diamond Thai boxing team says, I want more action. We haven't mentioned it yet, but Dean coming to us all the way from the great state of Kentucky for this title fight.
And more action. There's been so much already. I can only imagine. He must know that Osborne is just capable of so much. Good guard from Osborne, able to weather the storm from Taylor and just charges right in.
Look, you see it again. He puts him against the fence, tees off, backs up, makes him come forward again. It's so crazy that even at this age, at this level, there's still strategy. There's fight plans. There's fight IQ.
The fight IQ is incredible for kids so young.
And Taylor's doing a good job so far of matadoring. Now, one thing I'll say about Taylor is he's had some tendency to get tired as the fights go on, and it's not hard to see why. He's got a very tiring style for even the most athletically sound young men.
He does, and I have to say he does look like the slightly more tired fighter. Not that I would classify as either being fatigued right now, but that is a difficult style to try and maintain. Both fighters trying to take the center here. You know, like we were saying, that really wins favor in the judges' eyes. A little bit of lull in the action as they're trying to read each other.
Mason's resting. I 100% feel that that's what's happening.
All right, and it's so, and you know, it just shows that Osborne really respects Mason's power by not capitalizing on that lull in the action.
I do like that Osborne is getting over him in the clinch and trying to make him carry him. That will tire out Mason even faster. If your plan is to come on in the later rounds and try to pour it on, I think that's a very sound strategy. You just have to be able to capitalize once Mason actually does get tired. You have to be able to recognize when that's happening.
Yeah, if Osborne wants to win this fight for the judges, he's really got to capitalize on when he sees Mason kind of slowing down. And just, we had what looked like a strike after the bell. Getting a little amped up, tensions might be running high.
I felt like both guys held on way after Dale said stop, so I don't know who's getting angry at who for what, but I felt like both young men held on way too long after the bell.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Hopefully, it just finishes with skill rather than emotion. It's so hard, emotions do run high, but our our coaches are very big on facts, not feelings.
Yes.
It's something that takes, I think, you got to work on yourself a lot to be able to kind of shove that deep down, because when you start to fight emotionally, you might lose a little bit of your technique and skill in the process.
Okay, Dean Osborne looking for the answers for the riddle that is Mason Taylor. Things got a little heated at the end of that last round, so I'm curious if that emotion will rear its ugly head here once again.
And both fighters are starting to breathe a little heavier now. So definitely not as much action as previous rounds.
Well, I feel like Mason's team probably feels like he's ahead.
Yeah, playing
so
smart
he
here.
may be cruising a little bit, but
looks like Dale calling a timeout here. A little bit of a low blow, gets a pause, a little time to recover. Both fighters in neutral corners.
and Mason did protest that, but it sounded a lot like plastic when he hit.
I'll take your word on that one.
I mean, it sounded like a thunderous plastic boom, but you know, whatever. That could just be the sound his kicks make when they land.
And they're showing a little bit of sportsmanship there in the center.
Oh, that one was right on the money again, though. That one was dead center.
It was. That
no
one,
arguing that one.
And that one accidental. That one's hard when both fighters throw kicks at the same time. I've seen that happen. It's not, no one's targeting anything specific. It's just unfortunate, but I know Dale's going to kind of talk to him and tell him just to, you know, watch that a little bit. Hey, just, you know, aim for the head, then you don't really got to worry about that.
One thing you don't want happening during your fight is Dale Fry coming over and giving you a pat on the head. That's just not a good sign. That means you've done something very wrong.
Dale sometimes pats me on the head when he just sees me out and about. Luckily, it looks like Osborne's okay, just taking a few seconds to recover.
Understandably so. Understandably so.
Still got plenty of time in this round. Over a minute left. And a tap of the gloves before this fight resumes. See if they're going to come out with hands instead of kicks this time. And nope, still gunning for those kicks. Osborne's definitely got a lot more respect for Mason's power now. You can see him kind of fading away and staying just outside of his range. Unfortunately, when you do that, though, you also can't get any offense off either. And right now, instead of the combos, we're seeing like one shots, kind of one and done type of deal before both fighters retreat and circle.
Oh, Mason tries to fly in and the Superman punch gets caught midair.
You're definitely right about the floppy style.
Yeah, he has just no regard for his own limbs. He just throws them around.
All right, and sometimes you get very lucky catching something, but then sometimes you end up hitting your butt on the ground, which even when it's accidental, doesn't look good for the judges.
If there was a boy's equivalent for a Betty Spaghetti doll, that would be Mason.
Yep. Oh, and that was a good catch from Osborne.
Tony Rigatoni, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I definitely see the noodleness.
This has been the closest round so far.
Definitely.
I really do think these last 10 seconds
is make or break, right? Somebody's got to go for it.
I feel like
there you go. Mason tries that spinning back fist, doesn't land it. And now we're actually seeing some clinch work.
Osborne making a very good case for himself in that previous round.
Right now, this is a title fight. So unlike the previous rounds, or the previous fights, which were only 3-round fights.
Yeah, Mason may have chilled out in that last round, knowing that he had 2 more hard ones ahead of him. But I definitely felt like he was taking his foot off of the gas there.
And that's the thing, you know, when you're training for championship fights, you have longer rounds, and you're going to be in the ring or the octagon longer, and you really have to train for that, or you're just going to burn your gas tank out too early and lose some power. So we'll see if these fighters are maybe like reinvigorated after taking kind of a slower round, or if that pace is going to continue throughout.
All right, round 4 of this 5-round title fight. Jumping push kick.
Yeah,
from
both
Taylor.
fighters coming out with like kicks at the same time almost every round. And again, it'd be interesting to see if somebody can throw some hands to kind of stop that kick in its tracks. But both from Thai schools where, you know, they enjoy throwing the kicks more than the hands for sure.
Yeah,
and
Mason-
eventually the elbows when it's legal.
Mason usually opens with a kick and then finishes combinations with a kick. So he may be trying to get that one shot to lead into some punches, but really it should be the other way around. Really, you should be punching to set up your kicks.
Oh, agreed. And also punches are a great defensive tool, not just offense. Osborne wrestling him to the ground, but
like-
we can't do that in these kickboxing
Yeah, I don't.
fights.
So that was miscalculation 100% because when you squeeze, I saw how hard Mason squeezed to not only try to get the judo throw, but to just clinch, and it's like that's not scoreable. So why waste effort on it?
Exactly. It can't contribute to the scorecards in any way. So now you're just kind of burning a little bit of energy, and I mean it's tiring. They're already 4 rounds deep, both young guys, and a swing and a miss there from Osborne that finds him on the ground.
Osborne's starting to show a little frustration here.
Yeah, he's turning his body a little too much on these strikes when they're not connecting, which could be very dangerous if Taylor comes back with any sort of strike that catches Osborne when he's not looking.
He does seem to be physically stronger in the clinch.
He does.
It's that Mason is beating him to the punch a lot of the times.
And there he is turning again, and it's always the strikes that you don't see are the ones that are going to put you down. But both fighters kind of breathing a little heavier here.
And I hear Dean's coach over and over again calling for straight punches down the middle, but they're just not happening.
And he's right. that's exactly what I would be saying too if I was his coach.
There's only so much you can do as a coach in these situations, right?
And again, with both holding on to each other a little bit after the bell there.
Yeah.
Again, that's not scoreable, so he's kind of wasting energy.
It's like, hey, y'all seeing this? Like looking at the judges, like,
yeah.
I'm pressing him against the cage. Just so y'all know.
Right? And all the judges are seeing is a non-scoreable action, tiring out.
Right.
It's hard. These young gentlemen are right in the throes of adolescence, so emotions will tend to run high here. But I like the fervor and the fire I see in them.
Oh yeah, especially, I mean, Mason Taylor, say what you, win or lose, and so far it's been pretty successful for him, that fight for it, but win or lose, he's not going to be in a boring fight.
That is very true, and you know, that's what the crowd wants to see. Many people who don't have a vested interest in the fights just want to see exciting matchups.
And I feel like Dean has brought him the most interesting fight so far because it's somebody who can actually hang with Mason in the kicks. Most of the time people try to clinch or just box Mason out, but
yeah.
He can go kick for kick with Taylor.
All right, Taylor's actually getting some kicks landing, throwing some shots to the body and the clinch, but it allows Osborne to hold that full plumb, almost a knee to the face, which is not legal here.
Need him right in the headgear.
Lucky that didn't go up into the jaw or the nose there.
Just got caught up in the moment a little bit.
He
It
did.
happens.
I don't think he was quite targeting it. Mason was dipping his head down as he was getting out of that full plumb. But it's definitely good habits now to train, even though the knee to the head isn't legal when you're sparring and trying to get home, to not dip your head down that low just in case. I've seen accidents happen in the gym more than once.
1 minute and 20 left in this youth title fight between Dean Osborne and Mason Taylor.
See which one of these fighters just wants it more and pushes. Somebody's got to make that choice here. All right, Dale goes to separate them off the cage. Mason coming in strong right there, and then backing out. He should have kept going when he got that momentum. And look at him fly through the air.
Jumps through that kick. And that Superman punch was true. I mean, I've probably seen Mason Taylor throw 12 Superman punches, and that was the first one to land.
Yeah, I think
across his career, not this fight, but
I think both fighters are training too much in the gym when they're sparring to land their combos and then back out, because both are just kind of like
tit for tat drilling, right?
And then going straight
That's commonly
back out.
what you see in training, you know.
Yeah, I had a coach that was very against it for that reason.
Yeah, it programs you sort of, right?
Yeah, it does, and it's just, you know, you don't mean to do it. It's just like a muscle memory at that point, where they're coming like in and then going straight back out. See, every time almost.
And the Dean chants coming out in the last 30 seconds of this fight.
There we go. Very short time here for these gentlemen. See if somebody is willing to put a exclamation mark on the end of this fight.
10
last
seconds
10
left.
seconds. Got some windmill punches going. Let's go. They're throwing. Dale ready to step in as soon as the bell rings, because he already knows. Very good performance.
Fantastic fight for both young
fighters.
men. Fantastic youth title fight in the books.
Agreed. That was definitely well worthy of a title fight here, a fight for it.
I feel as if Mason Taylor did enough to get the win there, but you never know. I do think that Osborne, I feel like Osborne went kick for kick and punch for punch.
Osborne just trying to show to the judges now maybe
That he's
that
still
he's not
there.
tired.
Yeah, I'm not tired. I'm not tired.
Knocking out some push-ups in the octagon.
I can fight again. I can fight again. We could go again right now.
Times like this, I wish I could see the scorecards and just see how the judges scored it round by round. And even though it's a fight, both fighters showing nothing but love in the center there. Osborne's coach giving Mason some water. We love to see stuff like that. You know, they're trying to hurt each other in the octagon, but when the fight's over, it's nothing but love, and that's how it should be. At the end of the day, it's just a job, just a sport. Not harboring no ill will or animosity. Of course you want to win, but you know, the fight's over now. Mason shadow boxing now. And there's a tornado kick shadow boxing.
That was the first kick he threw in his first fight at Fight For It.
A tornado kick?
He ran straight to the center of the ring and tried to tornado kick the other kid.
Impressive.
All right, fighter to the center of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. With your winner and still champion Mason Punches Taylor.
And there you go.
Nice round of applause for Dean Osborne.
So Mason Punches and Bunches Taylor remains your Fight For It 70-pound champion in kickboxing, but it was a split decision, so another very, very close one.
Not a surprise to me. I do feel like the cage played a big factor in that one as well, kind of been the theme throughout the night, but I do feel that Dean had a great performance. He made a great case for why he should have won that fight, and in another night, in another ring, in a ring with ropes instead of a cage, I probably could have seen it going to him, but Mason's rope-a-dope style strategy here in the cage of putting those kids against it and then punching them, I definitely thought he won the first 2 rounds, and then the 4th round was mostly him as well.
I agree. It was very close, so I can see why it was a split decision, but I did lean towards Mason as well on that